Hi, everybody. For everyone watching, welcome and thank you for joining this fun Munson-themed Zoom call. My name is Abigna, and I am one of the Honors Peer Advisors working with the Honors College for NSO this summer. You may have met myself along with some of my colleagues during advisement or at an Honors Community and Enrichment session over the past few weeks. I was actually a first-time Munson Fellow last year, and I am returning for a second year. And I am joined on this call by some former and upcoming Munsons so that we can give you a rundown of a Munson's role, as well as some of our personal experiences within the position. So with that, I will give everyone else a chance to introduce themselves before we jump in.
Hi everyone, my name is Maggie. I'm a current Honors Peer Advisor and I'll be a Munson Fellow next year. I'm a rising sophomore at UD. I'm majoring in public policy and criminal justice, and I have 3 minors, one in legal studies, women's studies, and domestic violence prevention and services. This upcoming semester, I'm looking forward to continuing as an SOS advocate. I am passionate about gender-based violence advocacy and awareness. And I serve as a victim advocate with SOS, which is the sexual offense support at UD.
Hi everyone, my name's Emily, and I've also been an Honors Peer Advisor this summer. So you might know me. I'm an Accounting and Management Information Systems major going into my junior year. I was a Munson Fellow last year, but besides that, I'm also involved with my business fraternity called Alpha Kappa Psi on campus.
Hi, my name is Galen. I'm going to be a sophomore and I'm an incoming Munson. I'm a math major, and on campus I'm involved with the swing club a little bit and the casual video game club.
Hi, I'm Ari. I'm an incoming senior with majors in biology and liberal arts of medical studies. I am a past Munson, and something that I'm involved with, we're passionate about on campus, is the healthcare theater program we have at UD. It's a simulated patient program where students get to perform as the simulated patients for nursing students, PT students, both within UD and as well as other professions outside of UD.
Cool, so we're just gonna go right on into questions now. I'm gonna ask a Bigna question first. What is a Munson Fellow and who was Dr. Munson?
That is a good question. So Munson Fellows are upper division peer mentors who live with freshman honor students in their living learning community. And we're there to kind of serve as an academic resource for you. So Munsons meet with their residents one-on-one for check-ins a couple times a semester to help them set goals and make sure that they're on track for their honors education. And we're also responsible for the majority of programming. So we organize faculty and social events to build community among honors students. And that is to give you guys a chance to meet each other and connect with professors across campus. And Dr. Burnaby Munson was a chemistry professor at UD, and he was also one of the founders of the honors program, as it used to be called. We're now a honors college. And he contributed a lot towards fostering student relationships. And he created Study Breaks, which is one of our signature faculty event series that are put together by Munsons throughout the year. And it occurs on a weekly basis. He also really cared about student experiences and often had get-togethers at his house for all the honors fellows. So Munsons are named after him, and we try to carry his values into our roles in the first year community.
All right, so Emily, how are Munson Fellows different from RAs?
Yes, so a lot of people have this question, but basically all honors first years do get both an RA and a Munson, which is great because it means you get extra resources. But basically an RA is someone who works for residence life and housing. They're really great for connecting students to campus resources, checking in on how their adjustment to colleges, and building a safe and welcoming floor community. Meanwhile, a Munson Fellow is someone there to help students a little bit more on the academic side. So they're going to meet with students to see how their classes are going and discuss how they're adjusting to their workload. Munsons also connect honor students to honors opportunities and resources, as well as plan community building events to connect first year students to one another. So Galen, I know that you just had a Munson Fellow last year. So how did you use your Munson Fellow as a resource?
Well, Munson Fellows is a great resource because they know a lot about the honors program. It can help you with connections and stuff if you need things regarding the honors program or outside. They are good for giving advice to set up relations maybe with teachers or just what to do in certain situations, like Emily mentioned, for academic reasons that you may not know about previously. And so they're just very helpful for just questions that you may not know. And even if a Munson Fellow may not know the direct answer to your question, they can probably lead you to someone that does know the answer. And so it's always a good way to go about your problems.
Thanks, Galen. So Abigna and Ari, what are your favorite parts of being a Munson Fellow?
My favorite part is really just to, like, the reason I chose to apply to be a Munson in the first place is the ability to meet new people and be a part of somebody's journey as they discover college. And I just really like seeing first-year students discover interests at a school that I am really passionate about. So for me, it's just kind of helping them along that path and helping them discover interests both within their major and outside their major and kind of find their place and their identity at the university.
Yeah, I mean, and going off that, I also just like love the community aspect that is fostered in the living learning communities. And something that I love to see is just kind of how students come into their first year kind of nervous. They might not know many people or anyone on their floor, but a couple weeks in, everyone's friends with each other and everyone has their own kind of community within that community where they feel is a safe place. And that's just something that I love. And as Munson Fellows, we've gotten to foster that, or we get to foster that through planning of different activities, as well as just getting to know our residents one-on-one, or our commuters, or whoever we're serving. Yeah. Maggie and Galen, what are you most looking forward to during your time as a Munson Fellow?
I'm really excited to foster some like great one-on-one relationships focused on mentoring. I'm excited, like Abigna was saying, there's so much that UD has to offer, and I really want to help students get connected and find their like niche on campus, help them find their community and get excited about their major or multiple majors, minors, and really get invested in the different things that interest them and that they're passionate about.
Yeah, for me personally, I'm really excited to help people because I remember last year, all the Munsons made really good connections with a lot of the individuals in the living learn community. And so I want to try to help that too, because I know I had a really good experience because of those connections and stuff like that. And so I want to be able to reciprocate that too to the next people.
So Ari, what is it like being a Munson Fellow for commuters?
Yeah, so it's a little bit different. As we've been talking, mostly it's been in the context of within the living learning community. And the commuters do live outside of the living learning community while still being a part of our Honors College community. So Munson Fellows help to kind of bridge that gap. The difference is that while a lot of students kind of foster community on their floor where they live, commuters kind of live separately. So Munson's help to bring them into the living learning community, get them connected with activities and programs, but also to develop community among themselves, because a lot of people commute for similar reasons or the same reasons. And a lot of people find community and just kind of find people who are like them within there. Even if they might not have similar people in their classes, they can kind of find someone who they get along with in that community.
So Emily and Abigna, what were your most memorable faculty or social events last year or any year?
Yeah, so there are so many to choose from, but for me, I'd say the most memorable honors event I've ever gone to is probably the Welcome Back Dance. So this is an event that Honors puts on every year for first-year students, although upper honors students are also welcome to come. Tons of people come, everybody gets dressed up and takes pictures. It's really a lot of fun, and the food's really good, so that was awesome. And I actually got to be in charge of planning it during my freshman year, so that was a great leadership opportunity that I got to have through Honors. But I also like some of the smaller events that we have just in the Honors Living Learning community. For example, last year, 2 Munsons did a distress event that I really liked. Everyone got to decorate their own cupcakes and make bath salts. So that was just a great way to relieve some stress and take a break from studying and also meet other honors students.
And for me, so like on a smaller scale, I really like the the study breaks and the faculty events. One that I really, that sticks in my mind is back in my freshman year, I met Dr. Mortensen, who is a communication professor at UD. He came for a faculty event and kind of was really interactive with the students and got me very interested in the field of communication. And because of that interaction, I ended up adding that major after my first semester at UD. So that was a really memorable one and kind of goes to show how important those faculty events can be. And then on a larger scale, I really love the coffee houses that the Munson Fellows and then later on the first year fellows get to organize for the living community, because that is one of the most highly attended events. It's kind of like a variety show where students can really get to showcase their special talents, which is something that sometimes in an honors community, it's like hard to see those different sides of students. So getting the chance to kind of show that to your peers is really special, and we get to celebrate everyone who decides to perform. And I had a chance to work on the organizational and talent committee for the coffee house back when I was a first year fellow, and then this past year when I was a Munson Fellow. So that's a really fun one that I look forward to every year.
So Maggie and Galen, going off of that, you guys are about to be Munson Fellows. So do you have any new ideas for events that you want to try?
Yeah, I also really loved the coffee houses and the big dance that we were talking about. Those are all really fun events. The coffee house was super cool. A lot of people and my friends from my floor performed together. So it was great to see that. I'm hoping to take advantage of like the outside space that we have in the courtyard, in the like outdoor areas that we have. I think that the weather, as the summer ends and the fall starts and moving into October, can be so nice. So I think it'd be cool to do like a fall fest or like a fun outdoor event, maybe a picnic of some kind, but where we can all hang out together outside, maybe some type of volleyball tournament or something. But I think that the outdoors can be so fun, and that's a really great way for everyone to get involved and hang out together.
Yeah, for me personally, I remember last year my section did a lot of the silly events. Like there's a face mask night, and there's a night when we painted pumpkins for Halloween and stuff like that. I really enjoyed because it's a good way to bond with like your living learning community. And so I think trying to just do more events like that, where maybe they're not so productive in the sense, but they're just fun to hang out with your living learning community members and other people that may come from other sections.
Awesome. Galen, you mentioned that, you mentioned some really great ideas, and did you learn anything from the Munsons last year that will help you accomplish all of that in the coming year?
Yeah, well, last year, I think all of the Munsons did like a really good job, as I think I mentioned earlier, of just connecting with the individuals. Like I know some friends and I would be hanging out in a lounge, and our Munson, or even Munsons that were just on the floor, would just come in and check up on us to say hi and have a conversation and stuff like that. Like really had like an impact. Like, oh, you know, they're showing that they are invested in us, and we know that. And I want to try to reciprocate that same thing. And so, like by being involved in other people's lives as much as they need you to be, I think it's a really healthy thing that can help them know that they have a support system available to them anytime.
Yeah. So Emily and Maggie, if an incoming first year wants to become a Munson Fellow, what steps can they take early on?
Yeah, so there are definitely quite a few things that any prospective Munson can do. I would say that one of the biggest things is just show your interest and try to get involved with honors. So one way to do that, students can become a first year fellow. This is a first year honors position where they can learn about planning events, and they even get the chance to shadow current Munsons. That can be a great first step to becoming a Munson, since you can get some insight into what it's like to be one and get some practice planning events. Students could also help their Munson out when they're throwing floor events. This really lets you see the setup involved and just how these types of events work. And then you could also go to all the other events that honors throws. There are definitely so many, and that just really shows that you're want to get involved with honors and that you're really interested in the position.
Yeah, applications to be a Munson Fellow will open towards the end of the fall semester. Again, the Honors College is looking for really engaged students to help engage the next incoming class of honors students. So just be involved in what's important to you. Make sure you are known by the Honors College. Speak to the staff that work there. They always want to hear from us. And just make sure you're following what you're passionate about and what you're interested in, and staying committed to your classes and working towards your honors requirements.
Awesome, thank you. So we just covered a lot of ground and we shared a lot of information and some of our own personal experiences. So we hope you found that entertaining and informative. Before we wrap up, can we all go around and say a little piece of advice for the incoming first years?
Yeah, definitely. So for me personally, I would say my biggest piece of advice would be to go to office hours. This might sound a little intimidating at first, but office hours are such a great way to get some one-on-one time with professors and to build relationships. And they're great if you ever have questions. It's really helpful to hear your professor's insight and have them explain some things you don't really understand, rather than just sitting there trying to figure it out yourself. So that's definitely one thing you should try when you get to campus.
I think it's super important to stay organized. I'm sure you hear that a lot. It's definitely like a cliche, I feel like, in life in general for advice. But coming to college for the first time, your classes are not going to be like at the same time. You're not going to be in school from like 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. like you might have been in high school, but your classes will be at all different times. So I think that having some type of planner, whether it's like a digital Google Calendar or a written planner of some type, it's really important to write down when you'll have to be in class, when different assignments are due, so you can plan ahead. There's much more larger assignments in college that you're going to want to prep for a week, if not more, in advance. So it's definitely important to stay on top of things. You'll want to write down when RSOs you're getting involved in are meeting, just so you can stay on top of everything and fit everything that you want to into your time and make the most of your experience.
I think interacting with your living learning community members is a very awesome thing that you have access to being in the Honors College. I know for me personally, being able to interact with all these new people that I've put with these awesome people all in the Honors College was a very big bonus for me, and I try to use that as best an advantage I can to meet plenty of people. And I think just trying to make that a goal of just meeting so many new people that are all amazing in their own way and can probably provide something to you too.
For me, I would say just don't hold yourself back. I mentioned earlier that I really enjoy seeing other people discover different interests just from the different things that they do on campus, and I found that I love doing that myself as well. So really take this time to put yourself into anything that you think you might be interested in, because you kind of never know what you like, and that's what college is about. That's what it's for. Do be careful about your time and use those planners and organizational methods that Maggie talked about, so that you don't overbook yourself. But that being said, this is your time to explore different things and find what you love. So be as well-rounded as you can. You never know where that'll kind of lead you.
Yeah, I would say find one thing you truly love. And like, it might be a class that you really thought you'd hate, but the professor's really cool. Or it might be like a club, or it might be the friends on your floor, but really seek out like one thing that makes you happy, and it'll make all the stuff you don't like matter much less. And just one thing that's just for you, that you're not doing to get an upper hand when come time for like applications for like grad schools or internships. Just one thing that just focuses on you, so that you can have that thing to hold on to.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, Ari. My first year I joined intramural volleyball. I'm by no means an athlete, but it was just something fun that like the friends on my floor and I were doing. So I definitely think it's important to fill your schedule, not only with things related to like your major, but also things that you can find relaxing. It's important, again, to find RSOs that contribute to your professional development, but also just finding things that really help you relax and just have fun and make the most of all of the different things UD is offering.
Awesome. Thank you everyone for sharing. That kind of concludes everything we wanted to talk to you about. And thank you to everyone who tuned in to watch this. We had fun putting it together, and we hope you found it informational. Does anybody have anything else to add or any last words of wisdom? Awesome. That's all good. We are glad that you got to meet some of us. We hope that you are having a good NSO experience, and we're looking forward to meeting you in the fall. So have a good summer.